Hi and welcome back to the Skin Clinic. Today it's all about player profile. Fourth time around of asking this time. We finally got to the end of player profile. But this is, again, lots of detail, lots of information, and hopefully something that you all enjoy. And if you do, please do subscribe, like, and get notified of future uploads. And also, get some comments in down below if there's anything you'd like to see, anything I've missed, anything you feel that just needs a bit more in-depth detail about it. Let me know down below. Okay, so here we are with player profile, and it's the fourth choice or fourth time around of asking. We've covered every single thing that you can see in front of you other than the boxes across the top. So as we can see, first off, it is profile. We then click to attributes, happiness, information, send on a leadership course, set a nickname, and unfollow. So first of all, if we hit attributes, we can see that the box changes to a different screen, but again, lots of information in here. Very similar to player profile, but just breaks it down slightly differently for you. You can see the information, you can see their awards, any awards he's won. He's won 5 team awards in first place and 1 team award in third. Not too bad there then. Selection details, says how fit he is. We've also got report, so this one just tells you he is the best midfielder we've got at the club in that particular role. Star player, his roles he can play. Next one across, career achievements. So again, we've seen these windows before, but it's just something slightly different. Match reports, so his last 20 matches that he's played, just tells you the ratings, and you hover above, you can see what he did. The next box across, so report, this time you can see the goals he scored, how many shots he's had, how many are on target, how many are off target, key passes, how many passes he's made, how many he's failed, how many tackles made, how many tackles won. So lots of information there again, and all his pros and cons, preferred moves. So as you get a player that has more and more, this will fill up, you'll get loads in there. And also his bans, how's he doing? So it looks like he's been a bit of a naughty boy. He's 2 cards away from a 2-match ban, so that's 10. So he's had 8 yellow cards so far. Not very good. Physical, how is he? Match sharpness, overall fitness. So you can see he's super fit at the moment. Dynamics, how is he within the squad? He appreciates your position as manager. Thank you very much, Alex. He's a high influential player. Tells you what core group he's in as well. And we can see all the information about him. And then his happiness. He's got no short-term plans. He's got no long-term plans. So to me that says he's happy to be at the club. So you can see his positives here, what he's got. Overjoyed to have scored his first goal for Brazil. Strong partnership with El Tino. Thinks Toby Young's organises defence well. Struggles to connect with Sir Matthew Roberts. Our legend at the club. They don't quite get on by the look of it, but not really too bothered about information like that. Above here we can see the familiar boxes, like I said. Career stats as well. How many goals he scored for us, how many goals he scored previously, how many games he's played. And obviously his value, international appearances, date of birth, his country, and all that. And obviously his polygon there as well. come down to happiness. So again, we just seen happiness a minute ago, but this just gives you a bigger detailed information on what is going on with this lad. So he's a star player, agreed, he's starred player. You can actually change that in here. So you could change what sort of player he would be. Obviously, if you're going to make someone better, it's going to make them happier. If you decrease that, not going to be a happy chappy, but you never know. Could pay dividends later on. So his plans, like we said earlier on, that's all fine there. So again, like I said about his hierarchy, that's all in there. Relationships. So he's got a relationship with his previous manager, or Brazilian manager, international manager, there we go. So this is international manager. And over here gives you your happiness. I've clicked onto information. This one again gives you his full name, his position, personality, favoured clubs, reputation, his agent, somebody you might need to deal with, where he's based, his favoured personnel, again happiness, his plans. This is all to do with nationalisation. Now, if you've got a youngster who's not quite committed to doing a certain country, you could always get them trained up, play so many times in England, get the days completed, and they might even nationalise to English. It's always an option. And here, so his nationality is Brazilian sometimes, like I said, and if you have another player who's got 2 or 3 nationalities, they'll all be in there as well. He's declared for Brazil. Spoken languages, Portuguese, Spanish, and basic English. His international debut against Uruguay. His first goal against Slovakia. And then you'll see eligibility. We've seen this before. So again, tells you where he's trained in nation, what club he's trained at. It's a good bit of information there. Send on a leadership course. This is just a button that you can click to activate your board to say, I want to send this lad on a leadership course. Up to you whether you want to do that sort of thing. They also have there, sometimes if you've got an older player, it will say send on coaching course, which is an option as well. Set a nickname, so you can change his name, put it what you want, entirely up to you. And obviously unfollow. He's one of my players, so I want all the information about him coming through. Contract. So here is his contract, £155,000 a week. Tells you how much of the wage he's having from the club, his bonuses, and also his clauses there as well. You can offer a new contract, so you'd come in here, you can then offer a new contract. Just again, you know, as you come in, you can go through the pros and cons, have a look at what you think. Is he worth putting a new contract in for him? All that sort of thing. At this moment in time, we won't be doing that, but we do need to go back to him. So offer a new contract, get the director of football to offer the new contract, release on a free transfer, or mutual termination. All things that you have to do throughout your managerial career, but they're all under the contract. So all of these all have effects which are directly input. So if you click on that, you will try and release that player. I'm not going to try and do that because I don't want to release him. Transfer. So transfer status. It says there, we don't have an asking price. We don't. So this box over here, you've got the box at the top. So transfer information, the agent, contracted club, his value, asking price, transfer status, loan status, interest from other clubs. So if we find someone who we know has got interest There we go. So asking price of £25 million, we're going to up that. We'll put that up to 60. We don't want people sniffing around at £25 million. So if I confirm that, you'll see then the asking price is now £60 million. So at one stage we obviously had some interest, and he was a lower valued player, and we put 25 in just to deter other people. Now we've got major interest from Burnley for him, minor interest from Norwich and Watford. And like I said, the asking price is now over here. You can put that to whatever you wish. You've also got instructions from the director of football. You can sell at the asking price, sell for the value, sell at half the value, sell at any price, sell or release, or use a development list. You can put as unwanted, or you can put as development. So there's lots of information here again, things that you might need to do in the future. There are no transfer offers for this player currently, but they would come in here if they were. Offer to clubs. So you could say, right, we're going to offer this player out at £60 million and see if anybody bites. You might want to need some cash at your club. So it might be somebody who's only a few pounds, just want to get them off the wage bill maybe. If you're a lower league save. We can see here though that 40% of any transfer is going to go to Everton. We signed him for 23 million, so we're certainly not going to want to sell him for any less than that really. So especially with a £40 million, 40%. So we're looking at least £50 million really to make a bit of money on this lad. If you're finding you can't, when offering him out, doesn't work, you could always transfer list and then offer. That sometimes drums up a bit more business for you. Cancel that proposal. So then, as like I was saying earlier on, the same as this window here, where you want to get your director of football to do stuff, add to development list, add to unwanted, and that's got the same options there as what you saw previous. Development. How is the player developing? So we can see here that bundles of information. So we're back on Alex Raphael. So Alex has been performing very well in training lately and shown improvements in his game. As we can see, we've got some nice green arrows going up to show that he is improving in certain areas that we need. We're asking him to get forward more possible whenever possible from one of his player traits. We'll see his training position. We can see where he's training. He's training as a Mazzala, ball control, double intensity. Down below here is his ability. We can see it is going up. It did dip down at one stage, but from where he was originally, he has actually declined as a player. So we do need to look at that and see if we can build him back up again over the course of a year. Like I said, here's the middle box with the attributes again, just showing you what's going on. Coach's summary, so what he's good at, potential abilities, comparison with all of the players who can play in midfield, a whole ream of them there, with Alex at the top of that list. You also got your assistant manager, who's given a progress report saying that he's improved over the last 2 months as a player. He's progressing well in training. Unhappy with the amount of training he's getting. I'm not worried about that. I always give high training, always double intensity, get the players up. You could also ask any of your coaches what they think. So if for sake, say, where's he to? Cristiano Ronaldo. So he's sort of saying the same thing. He's not changed his tune compared to Jake. We can see there. Medical report. So we can see that he's doing rather well. low risk of injury. He's physically and mentally fit, ready to go. And over this side you can see the tactical familiarity. So he's very, very familiar with this particular formation that we're playing, the diamond. You can see that he's playing as a Mazzala. So mentality's fluid. He's buzzing with this formation, to be honest. Up in the top here, praise and criticise. So you can go in there, you can put an arm around him, pat him on the shoulder, handshake. So maybe give him a handshake and say, been training really well. Morale has just shot up. Very, very happy. He's appreciated that. So that's good news as well. Tactics. So again, it just gives you a bit more of a in-depth on this particular part. It just shows you all the same information as what we've just seen previous, but just all in one place rather than other things on the screen as well. Times he's played in the position, central midfield, 50 times for the club, 7 goals, 9 assists, average rating of 6.99. So his average rating there, that's in internationals, that's for the club, a 7.16. So he's had 8 internationals, 2 goals, no assists. And there's the roles he can play. Super, super talented player. Progress. So again, we saw the progress earlier on, and this just indicates the progress that we saw just on a bigger scale, like I said earlier. And if we click on attributes, we can see the attributes that have gone up and down. So we can see tackling, off the ball. So all the ones that have improved or declined over the time, we can see here. We can also do it over the whole time, 6 months, or as a month, or his all-time stats. So you can change it up as well. Advice. So here's the backroom advice on this person. So it's just saying that his workload, Jake Ash is saying there's no advice on his training. His condition is fine. Tactics. He take free kicks. So he should be taking free kicks. Maybe we haven't got him taking free kicks. Maybe it's something we need to look at. Transfers and contracts. No advice. He's fine at the minute. Development. So the squad general character has a positive effect on Alex lately. So again, that's great news. Request a training report. So if you want to, especially if it's somebody who's not from your club, that's more of the scouting thing, but for training, if you're unsure, you want a bit more information, you can ask one of your coaches to give you a bit more information on what he's been doing lately. Rest. Quite often, especially if you don't do squad rotation, you need to rest your players up quite often. And here is how you do it. Give them a day, 2, 3, 4, 5, week, 2 weeks. You can move your players around from squad to squad. Be careful with this one. If you click on the wrong thing and put someone down in the under 18s when they shouldn't be, that's not ideal. You can also make players available for under 18s and under 23 football. Maybe someone who's come back from international football needs a bit of a rest and isn't match fit, or someone who's injured needs a bit of fitness. That's the sort of thing you do. If you've got affiliate clubs, you can also move these players to your affiliate from this window. That's an option as well there. Reports. So coaches report. So like we were saying about request a training report, now we've got coaches report. So he has the potential to be a world-class central midfielder in the future. Great. Very one-footed as a con. So you just see he's got all his attributes, all his information there on how he's doing. And here is his XG on how he is doing compared to everyone else in the league. So He is blue. The Premier League average is green. We can see that possession lost per 90 minutes. He loses a lot of possession. That's not good. Goals. He scores more goals than the average in midfield. Shots. He's got better shots. Passing's about right. He's down on assists. He's down on the key passes. And he's down on the passing average as well. But he's going to be a world-class midfielder. So what are we worrying about? Stats. All the stats and facts. How many goals he scored. How many passes he's completed. How many tackles. All of your information here. You can see it all in black and white with a little bit of colour in and around it. Loads of information, minutes on the pitch. It's just breakdown of how many games he's played in each competition, and you can change that as well by unticking, and you can see how he's doing in each particular competition. Form over the last 20 games, what he's done in positional wise. Has he lasted the game? Has he come off as a sub? His XG, goals, shots, key passes, all of it in there. You can see he's played 17 of 20 games. Maximum rating of a 9.3. He had a minimum of a 6.4. He had a poor game at one stage there in the last 20. And again, all the games and stuff here as well. Bundles of information, bundles of it. Analysis. So what you can do, you can choose a match, pick a particular match and compare. It'll load it up. So shots, he had 2 shots. Passes, all pinging it around everywhere. You'll see the red ones, that's where he lost possession. Green obviously kept the ball, and yellow unsuccessful, gone out of play. So again, it's just crosses. Has he done any crosses? Not many. I was going to say crosses isn't his forte. Aerial challenges, didn't make any of them. Heat map, it's the heat map, that's where he's making his touches. 45 touches in the game. Busy person. So again, you know, lots of information. You can compare the match as well. First half, second half. It's just so much information. You can just go through where he was, how many touches he had throughout. So he must have come off in this game. Because as we can see, from the minute go, that's how many touches he had. Coming up to 70 odd minutes. Touches went down. You know, a couple touches in those last few minutes before he come off in the 78th minute, I think it was, in this game. Medical report. Again, plenty of information. How many injuries he had. How many pulled hamstring. Thankfully, he's got over these hamstring injuries, because that is a bit of a nuisance. Groin a couple of times. But we can see his match load is light, training load medium, susceptible to injury average, match fitness he is buzzing. Discuss. So from this window, a bit similar to what we saw earlier on in the previous, I think it was number 2 video or 3 was it, of the player profile. You can praise recent form, you can warn him about stuff, you can try and get advice on people to sign, and that's the same as this drop down below. So advice, praise, warn, all there, all the same as what's below. So that's discuss. Comparison. This is quite a good one. So if you want to compare a player, so in fact we'll look at Saliovic. He was the other one we was looking at earlier on. So this one, he is our central midfielder, green being Alex, blue being Saliovic, and as we can see aerially Saliovic has got it, defending slightly better, but everywhere else Alex is by far the better player. You can also click across to attributes. That gives you a comparison of the attributes, and again the greens far outweigh the positives of the blue. Statistics, how many games they've played, playing positions, so they can both play in the middle. Obviously it's slightly different for Saliovic, who is a defender as well. And report, again, just gives you that information. Alex playing in the central midfield, Saliovic is the 12th best player to play in that position, and again just gives you all that information. So comparison, you do the same thing, you find a player, maybe it's somebody you've scouted, somebody you've looked at, somebody who's in your reserves, whatever. Find similar players. So when you do this, what it will do, it'll generate a whole load of players who've got very similar stats to him, as in Alex Raphael. So Oliver Courtois, a player who's on our radar, plays for Paris Saint-Germain, 21 years old, French international, very good midfielder, cultured midfielder as it says. So you'll see there's 32 players that have got similar stats to him. I would normally go by age then, and just see, yeah, there's a few tireless midfielder, a few tidy players there. So that's how you would find more players of similar sort of talents, and maybe find someone who's a bit younger maybe to go in your reserves, maybe to build up a 17, 18 year old who's got similar stats. That would be that sort of thing. History, career stats. So that's his career stats. He played for Palmeiras for many seasons before he signed for us for £20 million. Beautiful signing. Had very good ratings out in Brazil. Bit of a quieter season if you like for us, but it is his first season in England. Milestones we've seen again this earlier on. Biography. So yes, we'll keep his history after retirement. Just tells you all about the player, what he's won, how he's done it. Injuries, again, tells you what happened. They were all done in training, other than a virus. So he's had a couple of injuries from sprinting, wear and tear, jumping, kicking the ball, jumping, wear and tear, sprinting. Just tells you how the injuries have occurred. Notes, if you needed to add a note about a player, new contract maybe. Obviously, keep history after retirement. I do like to do that with some of the players. And create a note, which is obviously the same as well. You can write in and put a note in of whatever you desire to have. Well, boys and girls, we've finally come to the end of player profile. It's been a big one, I know. I'm sorry it's waffled on a lot. It's been nearly 2 hours of information on player profile. I'll probably cut it down a little bit, but it's still a lot of information. But please do, if you haven't done so already, we'd really appreciate it if you could come over and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that like button and also get notified of future uploads. If you've lasted this long into the video, which I hope you have, really the subscription is a big thumbs up from me. We'll catch you soon with another episode from the Skin Clinic. See you soon.